So, first thing we're going to talk about following break is about electricity and magnetism. And of course, everybody has at some point in their life experienced this phenomenon known as static electricity. You've shuffled your feet on the carpet and perhaps reached out and shocked your brother or sister's nose, or you've had a balloon that you could rub against your head and then it would stick to the wall. And those are examples of static electricity. And what is happening is that we are getting a situation where we have an unbalanced amount of positive and negative charges. Normally in nature, there's a reasonable balance between those two, so we don't see something as being charged either positively or negatively just sitting in nature, usually. But then we have those situations, for instance, when you shuffle your feet across the carpet, that causes an excess of negative charges to build up on you. And so therefore, when someone else who has not been shuffling their feet across the carpet and has neutral amount of positive and negative, balanced amount of positive and negative charges, the negative charges that you have built up tend to want to get to all the positive charges on the other person and away from all the other negative charges around them. And as a result, when you reach your finger out towards somebody's nose, it will create an arc and it will shock that person's nose. I have some demonstrations that I'm going to do here. First, I've got here a rubber rod, and I'm going to rub this with some rabbit fur or something like that. And as I do this, what's effectively happening is that I'm rubbing negative charges off of the rabbit fur, and they're sticking to the rubber rod. And so when I do this, it should create an excess of negative charges here. Now, I'm holding this in my hand. The reason that this is not quickly dissipating the electric charges that are on it is because rubber itself is not a very good conductor. And so even though my hand should be roughly neutral, the charges that I rubbed onto this are up near the end. And so in something that's a poor conductor of electricity, such as rubber, the charges pretty much stay there. They can't get away from there. Now, to demonstrate, of course, you look at that, and there's no reason to be able to say there are charges on that. But I can show you, here I have a 2-leaf foil, okay, aluminum foil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put these charges onto that foil. If you look at the entire construction here, up here I have an electrode, runs down through a rubber cork into the glass bottle, and then it's clipped to these 2 little pieces down here. Now, in theory, I can put the charges from this rod, rub them off onto here, and what we should see is that when I do that, the foil leaves get further apart. And I'm going to rub some more charges on there, try to get them further apart. Again, picking up the foil, and what you should see is that these foil pieces should be moving further apart as I do that, which they don't move very rapidly. So the easiest way to see this is now if you watch them as I ground this, and I'm going to grab the tip of this, and the extra charges should run to me, and we should see it come together when I do that. And you see just a slight movement of the